Why are you doing this?
Pretty good.
No, you're supposed to. You gotta go. HollingsWorthless.
HollingsWorthless. What episode is this?
264 something.
264.
Really?
Episode 264. Take 2. Damn. I got a whole new career ahead of me, Jay.
Swear.
Oh, sorry.
just kidding.
No,
No
this
more
is your
cursing.
podcast. You can do whatever you want.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the HollingsWorthless program.
Hoity-toity.
As always, I'm your host, Big Irish Jay Hollingsworth, and also, as always, we have
Cocaine.
Kane Holloway, and
I feel like I
boom,
should
another
know
slate. And our guest this week is a good buddy of ours. And you did this once before, a long time ago, huh?
Long time ago.
Before you became KevOnStage.
No, I was KevOnStage then. Nobody knew me.
Kev on unknown stages. I can't talk. Kevin Fredericks, KevOnStage is our guest this week.
Oh, that's right. We're video. I'm not used to the video.
Yeah, and we have Josh Gonzo down
Listening,
here.
producing.
Joshy Gons.
Joshy Gons, our head of production here at HollingsWorthless Program Studios. No, Josh works for Kev.
He works with.
He doesn't work for you?
No. We work together here at KevOnStage.
You pay him?
Yeah.
Okay, he works for you. But yeah, so Kev, I met Kev up in Seattle. I remember, I always remember, I think I called you a Christian comic once, and you're like, Jay, I'm not a Christian comic. I'm just a comic that happens to be a Christian.
Yes. That was,
I was like, oh, so a Christian comic.
we met at Nate's?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so too.
You were saying you had a story, because I was saying, you said I tried to get you in the parlor or something, and you said there was a funny story to that?
Yes.
What is that?
I think you had me on Burning the Light.
Okay.
Or do you have me on something? I know I did Burning the Light, but
True story?
True story.
Okay.
True story. Was Ruben booking then?
Yeah.
Okay. Is he not?
No, he is, but
You feel strongly about Ruben? Can we not talk about it?
No, we can talk about it. I mean, they're not booking me now, so
That's true.
no. I mean, just the way that place is ran is not the best.
Oh, that's part of my story.
Okay,
So
let's hear that. This is great.
I did one of those things. I think it was True Story because I actually did a set. I don't remember doing a set at Burning the Light.
Okay, and I always so for those that don't know, I was the house MC at a club called Parlor Live up in Bellevue, Washington, and for like 3 years. 3 years-ish, and I always tried to, like my friends, I always tried to get them in at Parlor Live so they could get work.
Parlor Live was like doggone Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. Like if you didn't already know somebody, it was like impossible to get in. So anyway, you got me in. I did a set, and Ruben liked me, and then he randomly on like a Wednesday was like, "Can you open for Lonnie Love?"
Okay,
and I was like, I couldn't because I had church, and I remember she was there for the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and you were like.
When was the show?
This was it was the whole weekend.
Oh.
It was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And the thing about it is my church had a had a women's conference.
Oh.
Right? But I was a leader at the church, and the pastor was like, I need you to be there for support.
Okay.
So it was Friday, and Friday was the only day I couldn't go.
Oh.
So I hit you. I was like, Jay, can they just find somebody to do Friday? I could do Saturday and Sunday. And he was like, no, I mean, this guy here, you got to do the whole weekend or you can't do anything at all. I'm like, what? You can get Ralph or somebody to just do Friday and I'll open for Lonnie. Because you were like, if you open for Lonnie, you do well. You could possibly open or for when the other blacks come. Like at this time.
I don't know if those were my
Is that what you
words.
exactly said?
What you
Yeah.
said.
He even
when
wrote
the
it
other
down.
blacks come around, you and your colored friends, you can do it.
Did I use a hard R with the blacks?
So, because I think at this time, like,
He doesn't want to laugh.
Kevin Hart was he just
did it.
He just did it.
Yeah.
Like at that time, he was still doing the parlor.
He covered for Faison. Faison was supposed to
Yes.
go, and Faison had to cancel, so Kevin Hart covered.
Yeah. So you're telling me they look for local, urban comedians, which comedy clubs called
Just the blacks.
Urban is the blacks. Hard R on the
For
urban.
those black folks.
So anyway, the pastor would not let me out of my commitment to be at the thing. And that was literally the last time I
Should have
ever
rebuked him.
at the parlor.
Really?
I didn't take Lonnie Love's gig, and I don't think you were cycling through a lot of people in your shows, so you had already had me on both of them.
Yeah.
And then like 6 months later, I've been to LA. So I actually have never performed in the parlor since you booked me the last time. Wow. I almost had my tour there, and at the last second they bumped me. Somebody else came in. They were like, "Oh, I don't remember who it was, but they bumped my tour date off of that night because I had a Sunday night there. Tibbs had set it up, and then some other comic that was bigger than me wanted that Sunday night, so they bumped me. And literally, your gig was the last time I've ever done it.
Dang.
And I never got to open for Lonnie Love.
I mean, you'll get there someday. Now I'm like, oh God, can I open for you at the parlor?
It still worked out, but at that time, I was like, I'm done.
Yeah, because the parlor was like the only A room for a while in the Northwest.
Probably still is.
No. You got Helium down in Portland. You got Tacoma Comedy.
Northwest.
Yeah,
is Tacoma Comedy A room?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Spokane.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I hit Tacoma Comedy Club. They wouldn't even respond to your boy. I was
Really?
trying to have my tour stop there. You gave me the guy's number, and they were like, "Who? Are you black?" No. So I couldn't do Helium. I actually didn't hit Helium. I don't want to put that out there. But the parlor is super nice.
Yeah.
Like the club was like
The
super nice.
seating's awful though.
Seating is.
Oh,
awful.
I hate. Yeah,
Seating
I hate
is.
that.
There's too
It's
many
all
people
the
on the
side.
side. Like there's way too many
Well, and
people
also,
on the side.
even if somebody's right in front of you, they're not facing you; they're sideways, so they have to crank their neck and turn
Yeah, it
sideways.
sucks.
And
Nice green room though. Nice,
Yeah.
Oh
Very
man,
nice
green room.
it's wonderful.
the Tacoma Comedy Club's green room is one of the best.
And that's right there
is
in
a good
downtown Tacoma.
You should hit him up again.
I already got a
talk
spot
about
now.
Oh, okay, where are you going to do it?
My friend's church, Deacon Danny.
Okay, all right.
Churches are way better.
Excuse me.
How
Churches
clean is the
still-
how
still
clean is
co-
the
coffee.
comedy?
Squeaky.
Squeaky
Corporate gig
clean?
clean.
We were just having this.
Can't say damn.
no.
Damn, you. We were just having this conversation about like sending in clean tapes for television and how you have to have this whole kind of conversation about what's clean, what's not clean,
Yeah.
and all this curse.
Clean is relative.
What to when to throw in what curses and take out what other
Right.
curses and like
Right.
motions you can't do. And I'm like, God,
Wait,
just-
motions you can't do?
yeah, like certain sexual type of innuendo
jerking
type
off.
of things. Like, yeah. Is that how you do it?
Yeah.
Is that how you do it when you're with a lady?
A lady.
That was so aggressive.
Yeah. It's aggressive.
Face. You got to do the
Franks
face.
and beans.
That is the face of someone who doesn't care what people think of him.
You like it? Have you yet?
Yet.
Are we done?
Oh, snap.
Now, since the Seattle days, so you moved down here. When was it? How long ago was it?
It'll be 5 years ago in March.
So this is a crazy story. So when Kev was up in Seattle, you're still part of the Playmakers.
I mean, we just don't make videos anymore.
Isn't that your family?
Yeah, it's like Crip, blood in, blood out, but I'm not active
Somebody's too
anymore.
big now, I
No,
guess.
but yeah, I'm still part of the Playmakers. We
So
just haven't made
Playmakers,
videos
you used to do plays,
Yes.
and he was doing stand up. You were working for Boeing up in Seattle, and then and Kev was like always a great comic, like always did great,
Always.
except for Bay Area Black Comedy Competition.
Woo! You were there.
Yes.
Oh,
What
man.
happened?
Oh, we'll talk about it in a second. We'll talk about. We'll come to
Let
it.
me tell you.
Okay,
what happened.
because I'll tell you the whole. Okay, we'll come to that. But so you know, Kev's basically being a comic, like a struggling comic. You have your day job, you go out, you know, the gigs you can get, and when you do them, you rip them. And then one day, your son, you post a video. Like he was always doing videos and stuff. But how many followers were you in Seattle? Did you have like?
I mean, negligible. Actually, when Zay Zay went viral, I didn't even have a YouTube page yet.
Okay, so
No, I'm sorry. I just had started my YouTube page.
until you, let's say,
Less than 1,000, probably less
Really?
than 500.
okay, so
Probably
let's-
less than 800.
He has,
actually.
just so you know, he has about 2 million right now.
No, I have 2 million fans on Facebook. I've got almost 500,000 on YouTube. I've got
okay.
550 on Instagram.
Well, we don't have to finish.
So
this.
what was like?
I got 2 million fans on Facebook.
So right before
Followers.
you post that the
Well, we got to tell what it is.
Okay,
Yeah.
go
So again, he's got a day job. He's a struggling comic, and then one day
I wasn't struggling.
Oh, geez.
he was working at
I was
Boeing.
working at Boeing.
Yeah,
like,
it's not like he was working at
your
Starbucks.
comedy was struggling. Is that better?
Yeah, I mean, the whole comedy, like, still working a 9 to 5.
Yes.
But I wasn't struggling. I just wanted to put
yeah.
it out there. Your boy been out here. You feel me? So,
So one day, Zay Zay approaches you. He's like, you kind of do stand up. I want to that little game thing
Yeah.
you do.
You build planes, you kind of do stand up.
But he was like, I want to do some stand up, right?
no,
So-
he said, I want to make videos.
Oh, he said I want to make
Because
videos.
he used to sit with me when I would edit. So I'm making the Playmakers or editing the Playmakers videos because we had went viral on our first 2 videos, and then like the subsequent like 8 or 9 did very well, not necessarily viral, but hundreds of thousands of views, which was a lot for us. The first 2 had like millions eventually. So he was like, I want to be like you. I want to make videos. And then his video, the first video we did was Growing Up Black.
Oh yeah.
And it went like stupid viral.
Yeah, it was
I mean,
like
crazy.
Dance Zay 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 that thing, right?
Do the Dougie Zay Zay. Like, No, actually, that was a different video.
That was the stand-up.
That was yeah. So, Growing Up Black was literally just like some of my material and just like coming from a kid's point of view. Like, Growing Up Black is crazy. Your parents do this and that, and he would just repeat the stuff, and then I jump cut the whole video, and literally like it was like immediately viral.
And then you posted a video of him just sitting in front of a computer. The computer monitor screen is filming him, and he's rattling off jokes, and you post it and you title it "World's Youngest Stand-Up Comedian."
Yeah, 5-year-old comedian.
5-year-old,
5-year-old.
And then that, like, didn't Kevin Hart like retweet it?
No.
Oh.
A lot of people did like.
Didn't President Clinton no.
Ghostface retweet? I mean,
Yeah.
everybody was retweeting it, and Damian Wayans was like, "I'm a fan of this kid." Like, it was like crazy.
So it blows. How many views did that get?
I don't think it got 1 million, but it got a couple 100,000
Quickly.
Yeah. It might have 1 million now.
And then,
But
okay,
it didn't.
let's
I was
focus
trying to
on the
check and
podcast.
see
No,
how
that's
long.
cool, because then you're gonna start texting somebody about something work
I
related.
want to see if it was
That's
at 1 million.
We'll
I think
just
it's
say
at
it
1
is.
million now, but it didn't. But it like 1 million wasn't the thing. Like.
Yeah, back
It was,
then.
I mean, 1 million. It wasn't like if it doesn't do 1 million, it's
Right.
nothing. It did a lot of numbers.
And then so you started getting hit up by like TV stations and everything to interview Zay, right?
Yeah, we came to LA. I actually never released this interview. He did poorly. He was just like a kid.
It was like his Bay Area black comedy competition.
I mean, it was just like the thing that people didn't realize is, excuse me, it was a highly edited thing.
Right.
Like he was, I would say, okay, say, what's up, y'all? It's Zay. You know, and then like, you know, so it filmed for like 15 minutes and then I chopped it down. So they're asking him to basically be funny in real time. And he's just like, bro, I mean, I don't even know what I said in that video, man. I just was like repeating what my dad said. So, but he got a deal with Awesomeness TV to make videos. They were redoing The Little Rascals and straight to DVD.
Right.
And they asked him to come there. And so he got a lot of stuff because of those 2 videos.
And I remember talking to you while this was happening, and I think the way you worded it is basically you're like, I got to move to LA for my son's career.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like I was just like, I mean, I was doing stuff with the Playmakers as well. And we got to deal with Tracy Edmonds, but he was making videos with Awesomeness TV every week. And, you know, I was shooting and editing I would write, shoot, edit, direct everything. And then we moved to LA. They were like, if you move here, we can at least edit them for you.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, oh, thank God, because that was like the hardest part. And they took over shooting of them too. So they did that, and I worked with Tracy Edmonds, and that was like the main reason we moved to LA.
How scary was that? You have a good job at Boeing.
Yes,
My
wife
I
worked.
caught that yawn, by the way.
And my wife was working at Boeing at the same time. So at that time, we were both making together. We were making over $100,000.
Right.
And Tacoma is not very expensive to live. So kids are in private school. Like Zay's private school, they had like iPads. Are you familiar with that term?
Burn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. They had iPads.
That's
on the
thing
desk.
you're having trouble connecting with your computer yesterday.
No. That was a Facebook portal. Totally different thing. Do Androids even have tablets? What are they called? Kindles or something? Anyway. So they were like living it was a good life. You know what I'm saying? So we moved to LA. We were giving up like that type of money, and it isn't even like the money. It was the security of a job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
dude, it's a leap of faith, literally.
dude, I told people I didn't feel like I moved to LA until the first Friday that direct deposit didn't hit.
Oh yeah.
That's when I was just like, whew.
Ooh, I could feel that when you said it. I'm like, oh, in my chest.
And
Check
no
your
insurance.
account, and you're just
And
like
no
hoping different-
insurance.
no insurance and no money. So you're just looking at your account like, oh, so you're just gonna have the same amount of money I had in there yesterday.
Right.
So cool. Yeah, I guess it's fine. Y'all just gonna hold it against me that I don't work there no more? Yeah. So just because I don't work there no more, you're
I
not
thought
gonna
we built something.
Yeah. Wow, y'all.
Alimony?
It'd be your own Boeings. So yeah, that realization that you don't have a check coming in, and we went from 2 incomes to 0. So it was tough.
Now, as soon as you got down here, how long after you got down here, you ended up being like, what was it, director of talent for All Def?
Director of talent and head of comedy content. Okay. And that took about, so we moved in here in March of 2013, and I started ADD in September of 2014. So about,
oh wow,
whatever the math of that is.
Like a year and something?
Yeah, 18 months, 16 months.
So what were you doing to get by in that?
I was doing
Living on
stand-up here
Zay
and there. No. So I was getting paid to write, direct, and produce Zay and JoJo's videos. But the main income was working with Tracy Edmonds.
Oh, okay.
The Playmakers, we had a show on there, and then we pitched
Who's
her.
Tracy Edmonds?
Babyface's wife. She's
Oh,
a
okay,
television
okay,
producer.
yeah.
She had a YouTube channel. So our main income was working for her, producing content for her channel, and then like helping with other stuff for her channel. So I did that. I did stand up, my YouTube channel. I like pulled everything I made. I mean, like most comics, you do a couple of things, but the biggest income was working for her YouTube channel.
Now, when we did the Bay Area, had you moved down here or were you still in Seattle?
No, I was still in Seattle.
Okay, so
set the stage so when Kane sees how bad it ends.
oh, dude. Okay, I'll give the performance stuff before you get down to the Bay Area, and then you take it from there.
Okay.
So Kev had this bit. I remember the first time I saw it. We were doing Nate Jackson's room, and Kev again he works clean, and he had a joke talking about basically going to Popeyes, and it was like a sexual experience with the Popeyes, where it ended with you tearing your shirt off and dumping water, and he's just like, oh, Popeyes.
It wasn't a sexual experience, so you're messing up the joke. The joke was...
I'm sorry it wasn't that memorable.
Wow.
Let me tell you. What the
Sure,
joke
yeah.
is. The joke is when I grew up in church, and like a lot of 90s R&B singers grew up in church. I actually might bring this joke back. Because
Nah,
Nate Jackson's room had a live band.
Yes.
So
was this when it was in the big
Yes.
Yeah.
Up top
auditorium
on the
up
second
top of
story.
the- yeah, okay.
So they had the live band, and that's a key that I didn't anticipate when I did it at the Bay Area Black. So I had a live band. I had a joke about like,
I already can see it.
okay. I had a joke about if I was a 90s R&B singer, I could go to Popeyes. I would order my order in song. And then I would sing, and, I remix the lyrics, the band would play, and it would get so crazy. I'd take my shirt off, pour water on myself. And then when I tell you it would...
Oh, dude. I think that was
crusher.
I think that was the first time I saw you. And I was like, it like destroying.
It was like, I would walk on tables.
Oh.
People would go nuts, right?
Yeah. Like, and you know how that room is when it's hot, and like, like if Nate's rooms are always packed, sold out, and like if the audience is with you, it is the best room to perform in.
The best,
and if they're not, it is the worst.
And
And
the best part is when they're with you, and
Yeah.
then you lose them, you never get them.
Yeah, you're out of there.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Yeah, I'll tell
that's happened to me.
one of my bombing stories
I
at
want to
Nate's
hear
room.
both because
Yeah.
you're going to hear mine.
Okay,
So I go to the Bay Area Black.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this joke
I was a
is
finalist. It's
undefeated.
cool. I was a finalist.
Yeah, I
over
know.
there, yeah.
Great job.
Only white guy.
I didn't get
in
out the first round.
No one
only white guy in the-
cares, Jay.
Only white guy in the finals. of the Bay Area. Black
260
Was it that
comedy. I mean, I was the only white guy that was a finalist in the Bay
264
Area. Black comedy
episodes,
competition.
and we've heard this story from you and your side.
I mean, people may be new to this. Kevin may have fans watching.
I'm not going to tweet about it.
But I will. I will tag you. I'm going to tag you every
do
other
it for
word.
my
I'll do it for
Thank
Kane
you.
because
Yeah.
Kane's a great guy.
Every
Thank
other
you.
word, I'm tagging you. I'm like, KevOnStage is on my podcast. KevOnStage.
KevOnStage
still only
tells
gonna
a story
notify
about
me once.
KevOnStage.
No, but people see it. I'm going to do it daily. All right.
So anyway, I'm going into the comedy competition with the mindset that this joke is
Crusher.
never not
Yeah.
worked ever. So when I started, mind you know this comedy competition, you have 3 minutes, 5 minutes maybe. I think it was 5 minutes at Barry Black. At Nate's, I always had 20, 30 minutes. So obviously you can build more rapport with an audience if you've been up there for 20, 30 minutes, right? So
And you're like Kevin. I mean, anybody that knows you can already see it, but you're so likable. Before you were KevOnStage, like you're so likable on stage.
lovable. People are just like, but that's hard to get across in 3 minutes.
Right.
Like, you got to boom, boom. So, and also people should understand that I didn't come up in comedy where you build your first 3 minutes, then 5, then 7, then 10, then 12, 15, like most comics. Nate was like, go out there until you don't have any material. So I started off 15, 20 minutes every time. So it was actually really hard to do 3 minutes because I had never done it. Even my first time I did comedy for church, I did like 15 minutes. I had all these jokes. So I always did that. So the Bay Area Black was the first time I ever performed under 5 minutes. So first couple of jokes, I didn't have them on my side. I didn't have them on my side enough to do that joke. Right? I mean, I'm surviving at best. Like up there, I'm just like, I'm probably not. As I'm doing the jokes, I'm like, I'm probably not gonna make out of this round. Like, but it's a great experience. I may be able.
But I'll give you this. You could only because I know you. Like I'm seeing you perform it, and I can see in your face that in your head you're like, oh, this is not working. But I give you credit because you're like, I'm going for it.
Oh,
I'm committed.
I was like, okay, at this point, like by minute 2, I'm like, at this point, I'm not making it to the second round. So I either go for this and maybe make it. Actually, that's all I ever thought. Because the joke, I'm like, man, I ain't got him yet, but I'm about to get him.
Yeah.
Man, I go into the joke, and they is just like, nah. And it's one of those jokes that has a huge act out.
Oh,
like
so
you gotta
it's the thing,
pull my
like it's
shirt
like the
off.
Michael Jackson thing where he runs his shirt backwards. And
Oh, so you
sticks
had
his
to
chest
wear
out.
a specific
I had to wear a
shirt.
specific
But he's got no shirt on underneath. He's naked
And I
underneath.
take my shirt off, pour water on myself.
Oh, so you actually do this?
Yes.
Oh my
People in
god.
the front row are like, ugh, like the water's hitting them, and they're like, my hair.
No response.
Oh no.
And the water was ice cold, by
Oh,
the way. So like it
no.
felt so much colder because nobody was laughing. Because it's always cold,
then
but it's like the room's hot, so it doesn't feel cold. This time it was just like, wow, that water's really
Dude,
cold.
and then imagine you're sitting up there, shirt off, water draining, and people just looking at you like,
I mean,
and then you kind of slowly like just cover up.
all I can see in my brain right now is you going for it because I don't know the joke very well, but you and then you're shirtless and then it's nothing and then you got to be like,
thank y'all.
thank you guys.
Dude. And then you
Y'all
gotta
been a
pick up
great
your
crowd.
shirt and
And
like
then-
you slowly cover up.
And this is
It
what
was
you,
the walk of
and this is what you
shame.
hear.
yeah.
They basically called an Uber after a bad sexual experience. Was like, all right, man.
God.
So I
Brutal.
literally walked out of the club, out the back door, outside, and walked like a mile in the Oakland streets. And I was just like, man.
That water turned into
You're all
tears.
wet.
freezing.
Yeah.
It's cold outsid. My wife was there. And she just didn't even bother me. She was just like, man, he's going to come back soon. I walked for like, because I was like second up. When I tell you, like, it was so painful.
All you hear is the Hulk walking away music.
So I came, and that was the first night of the competition.
Oh, God.
So I'm like, I know I didn't get out of the,
Oh,
round.
my
So that was
God.
probably isn't even my worst bomb.
Well,
That's up there just because I was wet and it was a competition.
and you're committed and like, dude, it's
I was going for it.
and it's a great venue, packed.
Oh my!
Lights are on you, and you're just, and he not only does he do it on stage, but like you said, he goes out on tables. So he's like
my God.
standing like a foot from over people, pouring that water, and the water's getting on. They're like, what is happening? You
I
know?
forgot you were there. It was bad.
Oh, dude.
man.
I will never forget I was there.
I
Oh
almost
my
didn't do
God.
comedy again.
Yeah,
I was
of
just
course.
like, maybe it's. Not.
I ran home after my first time. It was at a Borders Books open mic, and I couldn't remember my bits. So I remember seeing Jamie Foxx's special. I was like 17.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I just stole one of his jokes that I could remember.
Said the N word. You N's are crazy.
Thank y'all. They came.
Yeah. And then I bombed, and then I remembered one of my jokes, so I told them one of my jokes. That bombs. Now people are starting to have conversations
Oh, that's the worst.
with each other, like
Well, they're just like, all right, my
Yeah.
man. So listen,
dude,
the
yeah.
Braves. What a great team
Yeah.
in 1996.
Oh, dude.
You're not even talking about this year's Braves? No. Chipper Jones, David Justice.
So the same thing. I just walked outside of that Borders Books, and I'm like, it's not that far from my house, and I ran home, and it took me a half an hour.
Just crying.
Yeah. Trying not to
They
cry.
don't know. Like Ben Stiller and there's something about me.
I'll never forget that. All sweaty. How was your day? How was your night? What'd you do? Nothing. And I just went to my bedroom.
I remember
Brutal.
a bomb at Nate's where Nate hit me and Ralph Porter. His headliner couldn't make it, like something with his flight. So he's like, hey, can you and Ralph come down, do like 25 each or something like that. So yeah, sure, whatever. He's like, I'll give you a little scratch. Absolutely. So I come down there, and I remember I started off with a joke that was a long setup. It's my own fault. Because
Yeah,
you got to
you
get him.
should've known.
Yeah, you got to get him immediately. And so same thing. Like I'm probably 1/4 way through the joke, and I'm seeing nobody listening and talking and everything. And in my head, I'm like, I literally in my head I go, I could just stop this joke sentence, start something else. Nobody would know. But I wanted to work this new joke, so I'm stubborn, and I was like, I'm gonna work this new joke. So I think at 15 minutes in, Nate lit me, and so I'm like, oh yeah. So I did my thing, good night. I don't know if anybody clapped. And as Nate's coming on to shake my hand, I go like this as I shake his hand. I go, they loved me. and then it was like, and then you get that. I wonder if you got this, like, you know that you didn't do well, and then one person like gives you a compliment, but it's like oh baby,
That's all right. Bless your heart.
Yeah, but
You stood there, huh?
yeah, you did your time.
You said the words.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
hey, it's gonna react how they react.
I'm sure they work sometimes, but yeah, Nate's real. I mean, that's what I love about black audiences is that you know if something's good or not. Like there's no. You don't
Ain't
get
no courtesy laugh.
Yeah, exactly. That's the word I was looking
No
for.
courtesy laugh. It's either good or it ain't.
Yes, and I think as white comics, it's harder for a white comic in a black room.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we
we don't be wanting to hear all that observational humor.
Yeah.
You know the thing about paper clips, hey man, shut up about paper clips, man. I'm overdrawn right now. Anybody trying to hear none of that, bro? Shut up with that. Tell a joke. Well, I was, man. Tell another joke, dude.
I remember, dude. I think I've told this on the stage. I was at the Comedy Union, which is black-owned comedy club here in L.A. And I was doing a joke about it was a joke about stripping not being degrading.
Yeah.
Like the whole premise is that it's how you get paid as a stripper. You know, you have to get on your hands and the other stuff, blah blah blah. So I do this whole joke, and this guy to my right, I think he was a gangbanger, and he just goes, everybody laughs. It starts to die down, and he just goes, "I don't like that gay shit." And I'm like, what? And he goes, and this is my first time at the union.
Was it about female strippers or male?
Female strippers.
Okay.
Yeah. And wait, so Nate took me, and this is my first time there. Nate's in the back, and he hears me, and we're all stubborn. I can't back down.
Right.
It's my stage.
Yeah.
So he goes, I don't like that gay shit. I go, what? He goes, I don't like that gay shit. I go, what gay is that? And he goes, gay stuff is that? He goes, you know what you said. I go, yeah, I do. Do you know what I said? And then he kept going back and forth. He goes, just tell your jokes. I was like, you wanted to be a part of the show, and then he's like, just tell your jokes. And I go, well, if you didn't like that gay stuff, you'll really hate this gay stuff.
Yeah.
And then I went into a joke about my gay buddy Pablo. But I remember, and then the guy gave me dap at the end. I'm
Hey,
like,
my man, appreciate it. That was great.
dude. But I remember Nate coming from the back, as I'm arguing with this guy, looking at me just like, oh man, come on, man, it's your first time, just take it. And I'm like, I can't. What was your bomb at Nate's?
I was for like a while. I was like the guy before Nate. Nate was like a host for me, and so I started to become like almost
The
like
token white guy?
Yeah, the token white guy, or like the little bit of a staple where people. And I loved it because I had to, I'll always be grateful to Nate for that because he's like it forced you to write. Because if I came back up and started, because I would watch Nate go up and just do and riff for 25 minutes
and
with all new shit,
all crowd work.
and I'm like, I can't go up and do the same bit over and over again. So that was awesome. And then I stopped going for like a few weeks, and then he had me back to do 15, be one of the features in the long line of features in that show. And they're like, "What's your walk-up music?" And for some reason I had this love for the song "Rude Boy" by Rihanna.
Yeah.
So I was like, let me come up to that.
Come on, rude boy. And Kane's just like, buddy.
So
go time.
So when it comes on, and they bring me on, this chick in the front row, she just stands up and starts dancing to the song. She's hammered. So I just start riffing on her because she stands up and she's making a scene.
Yeah.
And everything I say about her is just leveling. You're
crushing.
It's amazing. I've never done so well. And then I hit her with a rude boy comeback, and or a callback from the song, and that basically I just trash her and make her sit back down. It explodes.
Yeah.
I'm feeling on top of the world.
This. I can retire.
Yeah,
I can retire right now.
That was the first 3 minutes.
Okay.
So then I look down at the crowd. And it's packed.
Hold on, this is your bomb story?
Yeah, this is my bomb story.
He gets there. It's
How
good.
do you start? I'm curious.
So then I look out and I go, wow, I could just get off now into the microphone.
Yeah.
And I look over at Nate. Nate's got his mic in his hand and his towel in the other hand, and he just goes, "Why not?" And I said, "No, I'm gonna keep going. I still have."
Yeah.
I got a couple more minutes to go. I got at least 10 more minutes of killing to do. So then I launch into my act. And I proceed to eat shit for 3 more minutes. And that's when I'm like, yep, I should have just got off and walked off the stage. And I walked up to the stage early, and Nate just walks up. He's like, "Come on, man, that first half was pretty good. You got to give it up for Kane. That first half wasn't bad."
We want opener Kane. Oh, dude.
That's the thing about comedy. It's the addiction to that. You're like, if that killed,
Yeah.
this next stuff
Oh,
This
yeah.
is all written.
They're on my side.
Yeah.
I can do anything. They'll
And
stay
they're
with
just
me.
like, nah.
Dude, have you heard the story? I think we might have talked about it on the last podcast or the one before. Have you heard the story? You remember Phil Fox?
Oh my God.
Do you know about?
Did we already tell this story on last week?
We might have, but he has. Okay, so if you have never heard this podcast before, Phil Fox used to be a co-host on this podcast.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he used to be. He was a juggler before stand-up, and he's just this weird, quirky guy that he's the most funniest person off stage, but it just never translates on stage. He used to do where he would tell a joke and it wouldn't do good, and he would just go like that.
Yeah, I remember that.
And it would just and so comics loved him. We would die laughing. Well,
Audiences, on the other hand,
Audiences hated him.
Nate Jackson's room. I'm not embellishing anything into the story. Kane can verify this.
Oh my God.
Next comic, Nate's bringing him up. This next comic coming to the stage, Phil Fox. Phil comes up. Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Phil Fox. Fox like the animal. You guys like chicken? Dude, hold on. All black room. As he's saying that, he brings a rubber chicken from his back pocket.
No, he did not.
Oh, it gets better. He goes, you guys like chicken? And he goes, and the audience is like, what the fuck that motherfucker saying? He's like, what that white boy say? And we're on the side like, oh my God, is he gonna get killed?
Yeah.
What's that? So he goes, hey, you guys like chicken? Takes out the rubber chicken. He goes, you know what my favorite part of the chicken is? the drumstick. Pulls an actual drumstick out and goes like this. And it's dead quiet. He goes, ba-doo-ch. The drumstick in the air. Dude.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
It might be the greatest I've ever.
I think I fell down. I was laughing so hard because he was bombing. It was such an awful bomb, but you've never seen someone so confident in what he thought of.
And not only that, just from over here doing stuff. Then you guys like chicken?
What? The first thing he said.
Whatever you were doing at that moment, you have to be like, hold on.
Record scratches. Everybody's at the bar. Wait, what?
You know, at the beginning of The Lion King, when all the animals were like, hey, what was that? What my man was saying?
All these muskrats pop up out of their holes.
Dude, I think that's one of the funniest times I've ever laughed in my life. And then, there's something about as comics, seeing people that are your close friends that you love, but seeing them bomb. We
delicious.
just had it last week. We're in San Diego.
My favorite thing in the whole world.
And we took this guy Amir Khalil, I've taken him on the road. I think he's like 6 years in.
Ooh,
does guitar.
yeah.
He'll do a joke. Like his like thing is he'll tell a joke. It'll be like blah 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 punchline. You don't know what to say. You know what to say. That's like his thing.
And then he has a guitar, and
Yeah.
then he'll sing, and his like he has. I feel like he's doing it right because he has this. It's almost like a catchphrase. So if you look on his Instagram or if you watch him on stage, he'll be like, "Ooh yeah."
Yeah, that's his thing. That should be his like a text alert.
I really love it actually.
yeah.
I follow him now.
Yeah.
And every time he puts a video up, he's just like, "Ooh yeah."
Yeah, he's like, look at this little puppy. I go, ooh yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that's his
He's like,
thing.
I'm gonna go see Bumblebee.
Yeah.
Ooh
Yeah.
yeah.
I only work with black people. So Kane's on his mother's side. So we go down to San Diego. There's two shows. First show, I'm not exaggerating. I thought Amir was going to get a standing ovation.
Oh my
He does
God.
guitar. He's crushing.
Yeah.
And I'm going up after him, and my first jokes didn't really hit. And I'm like, can I not follow Amir? I'm like, what? So
He's got 10 years under his belt, and he's
dude.
like, shit, I can't follow Amir.
Yeah, I can't follow this gimmicky guitar comic. So
I thought that was your boy.
he is. No, I love him. But, you know, we gotta...
Until he's killing in front of you.
No, it's fine. So, I mean, my rest of my set was fine. But, so second show, I tell, I'm like, all right, Amir, you'll go up first, and then Kane will go, and then I'll go. And so, he was, you know, he had that glow. Don't yawn. I see it.
It's like the three.
I know.
I'm sorry.
He's
he's
got that first show glow and like, you know.
Oh yeah.
Dude, so he was supposed to do 15 minutes, and at about 10 minutes in where he's bombing, the guy comes over to me and goes, he has like 5 minutes left. I go, give him an extra 5. I'm like, let him go, stay up there. He did this joke where he would like say to an audience member, like, yeah, you want to be in my group, come up on stage. And he did that, not exaggerating, probably 10 times.
Yeah.
Somebody else, you want to be in my group? I'm like, how many people are in this group?
Because the first show he did it, and it's still you could still see he's trying to work out the bit of how to bring somebody on stage and where it essentially is going.
Yeah, yeah.
And I can kind of see where his brain is working. Like I eventually want to get this to a thing where I know every eventuality that's about to come out of an audience member's mouth.
Right.
But since he's eaten it, second show, he's like, you come up now, and now you come up now, and now he's got pretty. And I leaned over to Jay, and I'm like, I've never known so many audience members' first names before.
What's your name?
Life.
You want to be part of the group?
Tommy. All right, what's going on, Tommy? You can come up here. Jennifer, you want to help me out?
At one point, he says to the audience, he does a joke, doesn't he? He goes, you guys suck. And it's dead silent except for me and Kane dying.
I would have loved to say that on so many stages. Like, you know what? You guys got to bring something to the table as an audience here, too, okay?
Dude.
Willingness to laugh. Let's start there.
The best. I couldn't hold it in because we were watching him just struggling to find something from this audience that we're giving him nothing.
Yeah.
And then the guy leans over to show. We go, how much more time does he have left? And he's supposed to do 15. We ended up giving him more time, so he's got 20. And so when he leaves, we go, how much time he got? He shows us he's 17 minutes, which means he has 3 minutes left. Right at that exact moment, Amir goes, and I could not stop. And that's the first thing I opened when I got up there. I opened with, that was the funniest thing. I don't care if I bomb now, because that was the funniest thing to watch this guy be so exhausted from entertaining you fucks.
Yeah, dude.
It's only like 17 minutes of real time, and he's just like,
Oh, so good.
Oh, my favorite thing in the world.
I want to back up. When you moved down here, so about 18 months in, you get the job at All Def Digital. And at what point, what happened, or at what point did you start being like, oh man, I'm getting a lot of followers, like to be this huge social?
I know exactly.
Really?
Memorial Day 2016.
Okay.
I was like, I'm going to start putting these videos natively on Facebook.
Natively?
Natively, like upload the actual video to Facebook.
Okay.
Because before then,
you would put the link on Facebook?
I wouldn't put anything on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
I would just put funny videos I would catch, like, 15-second videos, things that I found funny. So I got 100,000 followers just by people following me on Facebook for pictures or whatever, and then for other funny videos. Same thing as Instagram. Those 15 videos, because YouTube was my platform for funny, because you only got paid on YouTube.
Okay.
And I didn't see the point in putting it on Facebook if they weren't going to pay you, right? Because I was like, well, if you watch it on Facebook, you have no reason to watch it on YouTube. I'm not going to get any ads. Therefore, I need to drive people to YouTube. But I've seen people, King Keyron, he put every video he ever made on Instagram on Facebook in like one summer, and grew to like 1.5 million followers in like 6 months. Like, it was insane. So I'm like, man, let me just see.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because maybe Facebook is, because at that time, still at this time, people's videos were going way more viral on Facebook than any other platform. We later found out because the views are shorter and all this stuff, but at that time, nobody knew that. Okay. So I'm like, man, I'm just going to do...
Can we turn the heat up in here, by the way?
Is it hot? You can open the door, Josh.
Just messing. It's all right. It's all right. I'm messing with you.
Is it hot?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'm
it's on that side,
but
Josh.
it's okay. Don't worry about it. It's all right.
Oh,
okay.
It wasn't locked?
Oh, okay.
Dangerous. Oh. So anyway, I put first video I put up that did crazy. Actually, first time I decided I did like 10 tips to go to a black barbecue.
Okay.
Right. And it was stuff like, don't show up if the time says 2 o'clock, don't show up at 2 o'clock. It's hacky stuff. I mean, it was like,
did you have something about like the plates, or like you have to
Yeah.
bring
Yeah,
the
I think I
barbecue or
remember
something?
that.
Yeah. Be expected to bring meat, like not like black people is like barbecues like a collective thing.
Yeah.
We can't have it if everybody doesn't chip in, and bring meat, not like paper towels and stuff like that. So that went like crazy viral. And then I did 4 reasons. Like all my stuff was 5 reasons this, 4 reasons that. It was 4 reasons 90s R&B is better than today. And that went crazy. So I just was like pumping out videos, and I was recycling premises that I did on YouTube, full videos. So.
And this is after your son's video goes viral.
Oh, yeah, this is years later. My son went viral in 2012. First part of 2012, like January, February 2012. This is 2016.
Okay.
So immediately numbers go crazy. 100,000, 200,000.
Like followers?
Yeah.
Wow.
3, 4, 5, 600,000, 700,000. Like, and when I knew it was crazy is I started getting booked to do stand-up like insane.
Immediately?
Like immediately. Like I was doing stand-up, but it was like a show once or twice a month, if that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like when I first started ADD, I didn't have shows the first year or so. And then I did a couple of shows, and then it was like pretty much every single Saturday I had a show. And then I realized like there was some months where I was like Friday, Saturday, Sunday I had shows and the amount was like it was like $500-600 a show, which was a lot because I usually was getting paid, if anything, $125. Yeah, $125 in a basket. You know what I mean? So once I realized that because at first I was like, well, if it's not going to get any views, I'm not going to make money. But once I realized that people wanted to book me to do stand up because of these videos, then I'm like, this is basically advertising.
Yeah.
Like I do this, people think I'm funny, then they pay me to do stand up. This is great. So I just kept doing that. And then I realized like the recognition went through the roof. People were recognizing me everywhere and stuff. And then I think last year, 2017, not 2018. No, it was 2018. I don't know. A year or two ago, I hit 1 million on Facebook. Actually, it was 2017 because it was before I went on tour. And that was like, I mean, what's up? Holla at your boy. You know what I'm saying? So then I used that and went on tour, and the rest is history being written.
I have a question about getting that many followers sort of at once. Does that freak you out at all? When all of a sudden you're just watching your numbers go?
Yes, absolutely. Like, and you got to understand, like, I had watched friends of mine go from Vine not even being a thing to 0 followers to 3 million. Simone Shepherd, I don't know if you remember her.
Yeah, I remember Simone.
3 million fans on Vine in like a year and a half. You know, people just like skyrocketing. So nobody had really grew that fast because YouTube is a much more arduous process to gain subscribers. And actually, a lot of YouTube growth slowed because of Vine and Instagram and Facebook. Like at that time when people were growing big on YouTube is because there was no other place to watch videos. So you would post it on YouTube and then you post the links on your other social media. And then all of a sudden everybody started being able to post videos on there. So, but growing that fast, I mean, I had been recognized a lot, but within the church community, like because of the Playmakers, if we were at a church event or like a convention where there's a lot of church people, I'd get a lot of recognition. But if I was just out in, another part of the world, I wouldn't. But these videos were more widely, like more people than just church people found them funny, and more than just black people as well. So the amount of people that recognized me started going through the roof. Like not in LA at all, but like Atlanta, like it was, man, Atlanta, Charlotte, places in the South and East Coast, I'd get recognized all the time.
And you went on vacation with your wife overseas, and then you were getting recognized there.
In Italy.
Yeah, that's right.
And not from like Americans in Italy. Like black people who lived in Italy were like
much bella, KevOnStage. That's my Italian.
It's good.
If you didn't know.
The first time was France.
Nonsense.
We went to France, me and my wife, and people were like,
KevOnStage.
You're doing the same hand motions the Italian guy did.
It's all over there.
Every European does that.
The Irish.
and we went to Russia.
KevOnStage.
Would you like a potato?
Yeah, we have a cathedral.
Hoity-toity. KevOnStage.
It better be fucking clean humor.
Oh, man. But yeah, once I got recognized in France and London, I was just like, this is crazy.
Well, funny story that just happened to you. Why
don't you let him tell it? God.
Okay, tell
Why
that
don't you
story.
set him up?
Okay, watch this.
Funny story that just happened to
Watch
you.
this.
Don't
All right,
worry,
go ahead,
I'll
tell that
it.
story.
Story of when the guy
No.
when I ordered the food on Uber and he was
Hold on. Okay, now
So I have
tell
to
the
ask
story.
him to tell the story for him to tell the story.
I just love
tell that Postmates
but hold
story.
on, I just love that. My favorite part about how you started that was like funny story that happened to you, and then it looked like you were about to launch into it.
Well, maybe if you'd shut up, you'd get to hear the end. So, Kev, why don't you tell us that story about Postmates that happened? This is interesting.
We're waiting or breaking shooting Aska. Me and Jay do a podcast called Aska Person. And we're ordering food from Postmates. The guy comes and he's like, "Oh my God!" He brings the food and he's like, "You're KevOnStage. This is KevOnStage's house." He's like outside my front door, and inside.
Oh, that's not good
I'm
at
just
all.
like,
I don't like that.
no.
He's like, this is KevOnStage's house.
Yeah, this is.
Say, man, you Kev on stage? What's up, man? Remember
Say Man?
Say man.
Jay's black version, his black,
pimp voice.
impersonation.
That's my favorite bit that bombs every time.
I don't know if he
it.
knows it's from the Bruce
Let's
Lee
tell
guy.
after he's done with the
yeah.
Postmates story.
I'll tell you in a sec.
Yeah.
So,
God, is that funny?
Say Man. So the dude, he like fans out, and I'm like, yeah, man, you know, whatever. Like, yeah, man, nice
You're
to
like,
meet
don't
you.
look at
Like,
me in the eyes. I'm right on stage.
Give me my food.
so we take our food and come inside, and I'm, you know, passing it out to Jay and John. And they can hear because I'm just in the living room, and they're like, man, that's crazy, Kev. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, does that happen often? My phone rings, and it's like a number I don't have in.
Oh, no.
So I answer the phone, and it's the guy. Hey, man, it's me. I used the app to call you. Look, I hate to do this, man. Could you come back out and take a picture? And I was just like,
my God.
Oh, dude.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
it's
So
like
I go outside, take a
Yeah,
picture.
you have to.
You have to.
For two reasons. One, I mean, it's a fan. You like we always have to support fans, but also if you say no, he knows where you live.
He's at my house.
Yeah.
Throw a rock
I
through
was
your
actually
window.
at the gym this morning. I was like, I gotta prevent that from happening.
Yeah.
Like, so I was like, I was thinking, I was literally on the treadmill. I was like, is it rude to get a ring system and then just tell people, hey man, I ran out real quick. Just drop the food at the thing. Like,
Yeah.
appreciate it. Like, because I don't want people to know where I live.
I used to deliver for Postmates, and I would run into people's houses where I'm delivering Postmates.
Famous
but-
people?
Yeah, famous people. And then I would get to some people I just didn't know who it was because they
Yeah.
had a guard at the door. They're like, you go up here, deliver the food. Now, fuck off. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I've actually thought about like, and I think maybe that's how celebrities start being like, maybe I need to move into a gated community. But then like Russell, there's people I knew that are famous that just lived right on the street. Like, you know, famous, like in Hollywood, if you just glow up those streets, like there's a lot of famous people that don't live in gated communities, but they also don't have to order Postmates. So there's just like, I was like, man, I really don't want to give up Postmates.
Oh,
like,
no.
I love it.
Yeah.
So my wife will just answer the door from now on.
Or me and Josh.
Yeah. But we order Postmates way more often than you
And
guys are here.
So you went out and
I went out and took the picture.
and
That's actually happened. People have come to the house, but they usually ask to take the picture as they're handing the food.
Watch that guy. The guy who's watching this. He's like, man, I thought he liked me, man.
This is like the third time I've told this story.
Yeah.
I want to warn people, don't.
Yeah.
Don't. It's weird.
yeah.
You should have also been quick on your feet and be like, oh, yeah, no, I don't live here. We're just filming something here. I don't know. The guy who lives here, he's a little, you know.
But my name's in the app.
So, yeah, but that doesn't mean, I could order
that's true.
something here
That's
and
true.
have my
That's
name in
true.
the
That's
app.
a good point.
Need a studio.
Like, hey, friend of mine, thank you for letting us order the Postmates to this house, friend of mine.
Say, man.
I'll be going home
Yeah.
as soon as we eat, friend of mine. Goodbye now, Postmates, sir. Say, man, can I take a picture?
Hey!
Say, man.
I'll be with a movie.
So that say, man thing, you don't.
I don't know where that came from. It's hilarious,
Oh,
though.
it's so great.
There's a Bruce Lee movie. What was it? Return of the Dragon? Now you remember?
Now I remember, yeah.
there's I like to order some Chinese spare ribs.
Oh, I don't know.
You mean to tell me you don't know what
No.
Chinese spare ribs are?
I don't. That's why I said it.
Let me show you, man.
Is that what he did?
Oh yeah, it's the funniest thing, dude. Return of the Dragon?
I think it's Return of the
Where
Dragon.
he fights Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris.
Yeah.
But the best
Man.
part of that is right before the Chuck Norris fight is all the fighting that happens in the alleyway.
Oh, yeah.
With not only the wait staff because they don't think Bruce Lee knows what he's doing.
Right.
And he
Of
whoops their
course.
ass. And then later when I don't know what's up with this restaurant, but the bad guy in that town wants this restaurant badly.
There's like a fight club in the back of this restaurant for some reason.
So then the alleyway, he takes his shirt off, and now he's Bruce Lee, as we remember, and he's got his nunchuck. He
Yeah,
just brings.
yeah.
He's like the
Movement
baddest,
number 4. Dragon seeks path.
baddest fighter on the planet, guarding this fucking little restaurant.
Yeah, this was
like-
a Panda
Yeah,
Express.
it's essentially just like an
In
In-N-Out
Italy.
burger. but
Yeah,
downtown.
and it's a Chinese restaurant in Italy.
It looks really awful.
Yeah.
Like it look like the food looks like shit, and the staff doesn't look like they know what they're doing.
And they had a little gay Asian dude in it. He goes up to Bruce Lee, goes like this. He goes, oh, what rippling muscles.
Yeah, that guy.
I love that
guy's
dude.
my favorite.
Oh, dude, that movie's the best. But
Say, man. And every time he saw that part, he thinks it's hilarious.
yeah.
He'll get high.
it is hilarious.
It is really funny,
But-
and he'll show it to everybody he knows, and then he goes, "I gotta do that on stage."
and never.
It gets
Say, man?
nothing.
Never?
I don't know, man. Because
That's the
I don't.
worst.
I don't know where to go with it too. Like I think one time I tried to say like I want to bring that voice back. Like I,
70s blaxploitation film voice?
Yeah, like and also the audition for that because it's a voice that's dubbed in. that wasn't the guy's voice that stepped
yeah.
in. So they had to say to somebody like, hey, we need a black voice here. And so I was like, so some guy might have been like, hey man, I want some Chinese. They're like, no, can you do like more like a pimp, like kind of be like, hey man, like a little higher pitch, like,
I see
say
why it doesn't
man.
work. I see why it doesn't work on stage. As you were talking, I was just like,
Sorry, I'm not taking my shirt off and pouring water on myself.
But that's the worst part about it. When I went back to Tacoma, it went right back to killing. Like it was just like the Oakland thing was the one time it did not work.
It's just there's nothing better than thinking about that moment when you decide to do it. I've been stuck on that pretty much the whole episode. Like I'm here and I'm listening and I'm contributing, but just like thinking about you on that stage,
The most loneliest feeling.
wet. That's the part that really drives it home. You're wet and you've got no laughs.
People have bombed.
Yes,
But nobody bombs wet.
Dude, the best would have been like, you do it, you finish, dead silent, and then some dude in the front row just goes, here, man, gives you a towel. You just, oh, thanks. I'm going to go.
I was in a competition at Tacoma, and I always get in my head about competitions because there's money involved and there's there's like this who got in the top spots for that week or whatever, and it's all weekend, and I can't seem to get a grip. I can't. I get on stage, I flub my words. All of a sudden, I'm burning the light, and next thing I know, I'm looking at the numbers, and I'm out. Like I know I'm out, and this is in Tacoma, and I decide, all right, since I'm not gonna win anyway, why not instead of just like trying my hardest to win their affection, why don't I just get any reaction? So I'm in a Tacoma Comedy Club. For those who don't know where Tacoma is, it's in Washington State, Seattle. Seahawks had just won the Super Bowl against the Broncos. I'm a big Bronco fan.
Oh, man.
So
I didn't know that.
So in this sold-out show at Tacoma Comedy Club for this competition that I've already lost in, I'm standing in the wings, and I got my Terrell Davis
Broncos
jersey from the late 90s, and I got these bright orange shoes on, Adidas shoes with blue stripes, and my Broncos shoes. And I'm waiting in the wings, and I remember Mike Coletta, he's fucking killing. And then he gets off stage, host comes back on and goes, all right, you guys ready for your next comic? And this chick sees me standing where all the other comics who wait in the wings, and she sees me and she goes, are you the comic? I'm like, yep. She's like, is that what you're wearing? Like, no, I'm going to change on stage, stupid. So then they call my name, and as I walk up, and I'll never forget this, it initially applause because people are so happy that the comedy show is going so well. But as soon as they see what I'm wearing, a resounding boo.
Before your first word?
Before I even said anything. And it filled me with so much joy to be booed because I was like, good, because this is how
You're out
I
of
feel.
it. You don't care.
Yeah, I don't care.
You got nothing to lose.
So what, you already knew you were out and you had to perform again?
Yeah, I just kept. I was one of the comics that was like, I could see in the numbers, they haven't made their decision yet, but I'm like, I'm pretty much out. And it was the kind of mindset I needed anyway. I always kind of need to go in thinking this might not go anywhere, and then maybe I'll get lucky. And the first words out of my mouth as the boos are slowly dying down is, shut up. And then I made fun of
a wrestling heel?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I go, you guys beat us.
Yeah.
Like, why don't you kick a crippled kid down a flight of stairs while you're at it? Why are you booing me? And then I made fun of the judges because one of the judges I know is famous on Twitter for being a Seahawks fan.
Oh.
And I'm like, boo, I know he's not giving me any points. That guy can eat it. And then I did my set, and my set went awesome. Like, it was great. Yeah. And then I walked off stage. I was like, I got to do that every time. I got to walk on stage like I got a Broncos jersey.
And he's been bombing ever since.
Yeah, and I can't get it back. I'm always wet.
We got to wrap it up. So we'll give Kev. We'll give you first. You can do a worthy or worthless of the week.
R. Kelly is worthless.
Oh, good one.
We watched.
Well, me and Melissa, Kevin's wife, Melissa. Last night we filmed some stuff, and Kev before filming we were gonna film. You got back from Baltimore or New York?
DC. But I flew from DC to New York and then from New York to LA, which if you've done it, you know it's like the worst flight.
Oh, yeah. But you got first class upgrade.
Well, he's KevOnStage.
Yeah, exactly.
He's KevOnStage.
And I didn't pay for first class.
I know.
I got upgraded because
the rich just get richer.
I'm a diamond medallion status on Delta EF. But you know what really sucks though? When you go from LA to the East Coast and then come right back,
Oh.
you cannot sleep.
Oh, no.
Like, because you get off the stage and like after you perform, you're like still like kind of amped. So you get back to your room, you grab some food. It's like 12 o'clock. So I always take the first flight back because I want to get the rest of my day. So I get tired at maybe 2:30.
Yeah, so we're here last night, and
I was still talking.
no, I got you.
Jesus,
So
yeah.
let me tell you about Kev's
And
story.
the car
And-
comes at 4 o'clock.
Right.
So I can't sleep on planes. So anyway, I get back tired, and this is why Jay ends up watching Surviving R. Kelly with my wife, because we were supposed to film the person flaked. So Josh takes off, and Jay's like, I mean, well, I already kind of had this time, and like, and I wanted to watch this. So it comes on, and like before the first commercial,
Well, before we even start watching, Melissa's
Man.
like, "You're tired, Kev." You're like, "No, I'm gonna watch it." She's like, "You're gonna fall asleep." Nah, I'm gonna watch this. So we
she
put
knows
the
your
first one on,
patterns.
bruh.
dude.
Yeah.
5 minutes in,
Yeah.
and then like Kev kept waking up, like something would happen where it would be like, and then R. Kelly locked her up, and Melissa and I'd be like, "Oh my god," and Kev would just go, "Oh man, I can't believe he locked her up," and then he would just go right back to sleep.
I did that for 2 hours.
Oh, dude.
I mean, a solid.
The last
every
word
time
he
they
heard.
said, "Oh, yeah, man, shoot, man, he was eating Honey Bunches of Oats." Yeah, dude. Terrible cereal.
Oh,
No. But anyway, R. Kelly is HollingsWorthless. Like,
just worthless. You don't have to throw my name out.
R. Kelly
Jay
is-
HollingsWorthless.
He is
Worthless of the
worthless.
week.
He's trash.
What is
Yeah.
this? I've heard
Oh,
of it.
Basically,
dude.
for 30 years, he sexually abused
Has
girls.
a cult, a sex cult,
It
sex
ended with him
slaves.
having like literally a house of sex slaves, like women who he had
Jesus.
manipulated to where they would just not leave. He had like one training them, the new ones, on how to have sex with him and how he liked it and stuff. So
Dude,
the one
it's
that's
nuts.
what Jay watched. The last 2 episodes are like he
No
was the first
shit.
2 episodes is like he was trash in the 90s. Second 2 is like he was trash in the 2000s, and he beat a case where he peed on a 14-year-old. And the last 2 episodes are like he is still trash.
Dude, you can't, like, somebody described it perfectly. They said it is the most disgusting thing you'll see that you cannot stop watching.
It's like Dr. Pimple Popper.
Yeah,
It's like this
Jesus
is gross, but
Christ.
yeah. So he's trash.
that's a great Worthless.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Kane?
That's a hard one to beat.
it's gonna be tough.
Um,
R. Kelly's team. That's all.
let me think on it. What's
All right,
yours?
iPhones. That's my Worthless of the week. So I got one. It's about equivalent to R. Kelly. So for anybody that saw my Instagram, whatever, like Kev, Josh, everybody has iPhones. You gotta come to iPhone.
Kane too.
Yeah, so I was like, all right, I'll give it an honest shot. It's 1,000 something.
honest.
Didn't give it an honest
You
shot,
told me
though,
you told
Jay.
me 12 and a half hours ago you were getting an iPhone.
And he's already returned
Yeah,
it.
and you already
Can
returned
I tell
it.
the story?
Well, it's an interesting story that happened to you. Hold on.
No, so I got, and I was like, okay, well, I got to get the big one because I have big hands, and so picked up the phone, take
Tiny
it home.
head.
First of all, Apple is so dumb. Like with certain things, all their MacBook Pros now only have USB-C.
Now here's one.
Right?
Here's one I'm gonna agree with you.
Okay,
Yeah.
but their
Fam.
charger has an old USB.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a USB-C on the end. Why?
No
so
one's-
you have to buy an attachment for the.
No one's arguing that Apple, the company, tries to gouge you. and
They want to
they're
push
fucked.
technology
Scumbag. What
forward.
else? Keyboard doesn't have the numbers above the keyboard.
Yeah, they're all about money. But
What else?
They're,
I don't know about that being dumb though.
It is
Yeah.
dumb.
No, I don't
he even
know.
has a Google keyboard on his iPhone because he knows it's better. Gboard.
Well, the Gboard's good because it has GIFs and stuff in it and stuff. That's
Yeah.
why we already have it.
ooh.
And it has the numbers up above. And
That's such a random thing to be like, you know what I like when I was young?
Well,
we
it's
had
just,
numbers
like,
above
I
the
think-
letters.
I think-
you got to shift, you and your millennials.
I think
Numbers up above,
they're
you're right.
stubborn.
What a weird thing
That's what
to
it is.
love.
The
They're
reason
stubborn.
is-
Apple is stubborn.
No.
You're stubborn.
It's hard to change. You had Android for what, 10 years now?
Yeah.
If I gave Jay a phone because somebody gave me a free Google phone, and I tried to use it, and I was just like, this is the ugliest thing ever. Because I've been using the iPhone for so long, like everything else feels foreign. I think after 10 years, it's nearly impossible.
Yeah, I
to
hate his
change.
phone. He'll give it to me. We'll be driving. He'll be like, "Look this thing up," and I'm looking at it. I'm like, "I don't know."
No,
I have
it
no
doesn't
idea.
even feel like a phone.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like the iPhone.
It feels
is
like
so
a
smooth.
universal remote, but it doesn't go to anything.
That's exactly. What
And then the other thing I get it. I'm like, okay, I want to give this an honest try. So I'm like, I want to only use the iPhone. I'll turn my phone off. First thing I got to do, transfer over my texts. Would not work. I saw your yawn.
your
Would
texts
not-
or your contacts?
No, my texts.
What do you mean?
Like all my text messages from my phone, it couldn't transfer over.
Oh, is that weird? You wanted the old text message on your new phone?
Yes.
Why?
All my texts. Man, I got important pictures in there. and stuff.
Keep your old phone if it has it in. I thought you wouldn't get your you didn't give it an honest try.
Oh no, I did. I went to the. I dude, 4 hours.
Why don't you
I was
put your
trying to get my
contacts-
text
because your text won't go over.
Yes,
Why
I
don't
need
you
my
try
text.
putting your contacts in first? Then maybe
I
those
did that.
texts will
I did.
come.
I did it all. I 4 hours. I went to the store and I was like, "Hey, can you transfer this text?" Like they have an app on Android and iPhone. It's called Move to iOS or Android to iOS, but would not work for whatever reason.
That's where you drew the line.
Oh, yeah.
I can't see my old.
Well, I also
They're
then-
also green. So,
but also Team Green Bubbles, baby. I'm bringing it
is it
back.
because you're Irish?
You got it.
Hoity-toity text.
So that's my worthless iPhone, and I mean I love the MacBook Pro. I love it. So I mean everybody tells me they integrate great and blah blah blah. But I also then set up the phone. I was like, okay, let me just set up the phone. I don't have my old text, but let me. And there's just certain things that are dumb, like if you're in the camera, and you want to change the resolution, you should do it right there in the camera app. But no, with the iPhone, you got to back out.
Well, that
go
is
into
one
settings.
thing that Android has.
Oh, another one thing. There's a lot of one things that these.
No, that's the only thing I said.
No, you also said the USB-C.
But that's a computer thing with Apple.
That's their cord. That's on the iPhone. The iPhone charger has the old USB, and all their Apple stuff now. The MacBook is all USB-C.
Nah, I wasn't agreeing with that at all.
What a great argument. Nah. I hate it.
But my wife has the new. You have the Air,
No, I just have a
but
MacBook
it's
Pro.
a newer one. That I agree with. Because that's because Apple's always trying to give you. But that's a computer thing, not a phone thing. Because it's not like
The
you can't
charger
charge your
phone. But you can't use the charger that came with your iPhone on your Mac.
Yeah, because but do they have a USB 3 iPhone charger?
No, not
Yeah,
that comes
do.
with it.
I ain't charging.
I'll show you. Yeah.
I just wanted to use it again.
I'll show you. All
But
right.
anyway, what I was saying is Apple's always remember they were like the first one to take the DVD player out when nobody was even doing that. They took the headphones out. They're always trying to do that, but that's a computer thing. That makes the computer not compatible, not the phone.
The phone charger is not compatible with its own ecosystem. You need an adapter.
The adapter's like $20.
Oh, great.
You got it.
Yeah, it's just more money. I don't have KevOnStage money. I can't be doing that. All right. So we're all in agreement. iPhone sucks.
No,
Kane,
we're
what's
not.
your worthless of the week?
This particular ambulance worker, this guy, this medic. I had a family member who was like freaking out, going through some like crazy medical shit, and it was in public. And then early in the morning, my fiance Kelsey and I got called over to go help out our family member. And while they're kind of like geeking out, the ambulance worker is treating us like we just shoved her into this public domain to lose her shit. And as we're like walking up, he's like, I don't know you guys. Family member. No. We just saw this person acting nuts, and then we went over to go see. We're looky-loos. Of course, we know what's going on. And then he goes, "All right, so we're thinking of taking her to this hospital, and the hospital that they were going to take her just happens to be right next to my apartment. So it's like we went from here to there. Now we're going back over to here.
Yeah.
And we go, oh man, okay, yeah, that's right next to our place. And the guy goes, do you want us to take her somewhere else? And it's like, look, guy, did I wake you up? Yeah. Did I set this person loose on you? Is this your day off? Why are you acting like such a dickhead? I got to deal with her and this whole situation. Why are you being shitty to me?
Right. That's why when I go to the post office a lot to drop merch off, and a lot of times they just seem annoyed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, have I offended you in some way by causing you to do the work where you are at work?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
oh, you want to mail something?
Yeah.
Like, God, every day with you people.
Yeah, am I in the wrong spot? I thought this was the post office.
Like, why are you upset already?
Yeah.
And it's early in the day.
I especially have a problem with pissed off postal workers because my mom is a postman, postal worker or whatever, and she has customers send her. I don't know my mailman.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know him, but she has customers send her gifts on Christmas. They know her birthday. They
Dang.
love my mom.
Yeah.
So when I walk in and the same thing where they're just like, what? You don't have the right package. It's like, listen, I didn't fail community college.
Oh, dude.
So don't fucking look at me like I put you in this position. And my mom is the shit at her job. So I have a comparison.
I know this can be done well.
Yeah, you can be happy at your job. I don't want to hear it. And you're not even out delivering mail.
Right.
I'm bringing the mail to you.
Oh, dude. I won't get into it. You're making me think of a post office thing I happened where I wanted to murder this person. It's the worst.
Yeah.
I won't say it. But all right. Kev, tell them all your social media stuff.
You probably ought to heard about me, but
You did get up.
Well, I would love it if I just go like, tell me stuff, and you just go. Guys, you know.
KevOnStage on all social media.
Oh, that's so convenient. KevOnStage
is.
on everything.
It's
Yeah.
nice.
When new apps come out, even if I'm not sure to use them, I just go and get them.
Yeah. And the Love Hour podcast.
Love Hour podcast with my wife is on Thursdays. Aska, which will be airing on Mondays, we decided. And Righteous and Ratchet is another podcast I do on Tuesdays. And then pretty much every other day, including those days, you'll see me doing a video about something that's happening in the world or something dumb on the internet.
Yes. Kane.
I got a few things to plug. You can follow me on Instagram at Kane Holloway and go to my website, KaneHollowayComedy.com. I just put an Etsy store up of all my nerd art that I post on Instagram.
Yeah.
And it's under all one word, Kane Red Book Art. So if you want to purchase my art, if you think
a new username to remember. This guy's got 18 different usernames.
well, that's
for
what the
every
art
account.
is called.
Why not
It's in
Kane
my red
Holloway?
book.
Just Kane
No,
Holloway.
you can buy my art.
What's your Instagram?
There. It's Kane Holloway.
Oh, okay, cool. What's your Twitter?
Don't mess up
What's
my
your
plug.
Twitter? What's your Twitter?
It's not important.
Wait, what is your Twitter?
It's
just
not
so he knows.
important.
Just so Kev has it. What's your Twitter?
It's at I am Kane Holloway.
Okay, and
Because I am.
And what's your
Kane
website? And what's your website?
It's KaneHollowayComedy.com.
Great. And now what's your Etsy store?
Kane Red Book Art. Stop doing this. You're messing my
when you
plug
name
up.
them all back to back, I see.
Yeah, it's a lot of hoops to jump through.
I love
but
when
that's,
you say, but I am kidding.
I am. But the most important ones are Instagram. That's why I only really plug that one.
Boom.
And then my Etsy store just got it's uploaded now, so you can purchase all of my art
Nice.
there.
And technically, you can put the Kane Redbook Holloway.art in your Instagram bio, so you can just say link him up because people aren't remembering this stuff.
Perfect.
They're clicking the link.
I think you don't remember KevOnStage because it's universal.
Just
It's
go to
right?
my Instagram.
Big
at
Irish
Kane
J.
Holloway.
Everything's Big Irish J.
Click that, and then
Is everything really Big Irish J?
Yeah,
I'll put it
I'm
in-
with you, bro.
I'll put the Etsy store
Something opens, I'm like,
in
let me
my
get
bio,
Big Irish J.
and then you can
Oh,
just
are you
buy
still
all
plugging it?
my art there. And then also, I want to start plugging it now so we can get people to come out. I'll have two shows March 24th to record my my new album.
Do you know what the title of your album's gonna be?
Can't See Straight.
Okay.
That's what my dad always.
It's not
used
gonna
to
be
say to me.
KaneHollowayAlbum.com.
Why would it?
I was gonna do that, but I was like, I like Kane. I'm not gonna.
That's
do it.
okay.
He don't care.
He doesn't. No, of course he
He's
doesn't.
got 18 different usernames. I'm like,
Because everybody keeps jumping in and taking it. Okay.
find one, dude. K Holloway.
I tried to find one. You don't think
Kane
I
Holloway
scour
comedy?
the internet
How
looking
many
for my
people have
stuff?
Kane Holloway comedy?
A
on
lot
the
of
list?
people, because apparently there's more than one.
Much funnier.
And there's a Kane Holloway. I won't disagree with you. I don't know what he's like. He's probably a real nice guy. He's probably handsome and sweet. Cares about people.
Oh,
But he got Kane Holloway at Kane Holloway on Twitter. What am I supposed to do?
Kane Holloway comedy.
Do you think I got KevOnStage money to be like, hey man, here's $3,000, give me my username back?
I don't have that money.
I'm at Big Irish J on
Are ya?
everything. Yes.
Good. I'm
And,
glad you are.
Review this podcast.
Yeah, do it.
You know, subscribe to everything.
Subscribe
the
to it.
YouTube, Big Irish J.
We got our first 1-star review. I think we're coming
said
up in
that.
the world.
Yeah, we said that.
Did we do that
last time,
already?
yeah.
I just thought it's very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. You okay,
Okay.
man? You need a nap?
I do.
All right, we're out of here. Thank you, Kev, for doing
Thank
this.
you, Big Irish J and Kane
Thanks.
Holloway.
I am Kane Holloway / Kane Holloway Red Book Art.
'Cause I
Etsy
am Kane
/
Holloway.
Kane Holloway
That's
Comedy
who
/
I am.
Kane.
You're Big Irish J. Oh,
You
I
got
got
it.
the one
Thank you, guys.
thing. Bye.